welcome in the Blue Jays today, where we have got to recap that series against Tampa Bay. Started out incredibly, did not finish with a whole lot of steam. Toronto Blue Jays, as it stands right now, I got the schedule in front of me. 9 games remaining in the regular season. 9 games between them and potentially a postseason bye, potentially the wild card, but postseason in general, folks. So we're going to be breaking down exactly what has been going on with this team, the good, the bad, the kind of ugly, and then also, too, some reinforcements might be on the way. We're going to be breaking that down and discussing whether or not that is actually a positive thing for the Toronto Blue Jays or something that they should treat with a little bit of caution. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. I'm your host, Nicholas Palillo.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle. You know, you were here on the Monday show, and I predicted the exact opposite of what exactly happened. I said we'd get the split, but I said we'd lose the first 2 games and then win the last 2. And the reason why is because we had such great pitching matchups on the last 2. And when we won the first 2, it's like, oh my God, we actually have a chance to win it. We didn't inevitably win the series. We just came out with a split with, again, on the road against the Rays. I'm okay with a split. I actually made a tweet being like, look, it's all good, guys. Like, going on the road and splitting a 4-game series against the Rays in Steinbrenner Field, where you're having troubles with the lights, getting adjusted there in the heat, like, that's still okay. And people were kind of disagreeing with me, saying, well, we got to get wins because of the Yankees. They're sneaking up on us. But again, looking at the whole picture, you know, we're still in a good spot right now to go and clinch a postseason spot and clinch the AL East.
Yeah, 100%. I do see Drew Gamer in here saying that your mic has a bit of static. Let us know, guys, if you're hearing that as well. Maybe that's just true, or maybe that is universal there. So let us know, please. We will adjust if we can. I was instilled with a whole lot of confidence when I saw, I believe this statistic, it might have been right when they were entering the series, or if not a game after that. But the Toronto Blue Jays, like, we've been at 500 games on the road all year long.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They're still in the spot where they are right now. As you can see,
literally still 500.
Still 500 on the road, and you are still talking about a team that's 89-64 with the best record in the American League. So whilst it definitely feels like a big momentum loss, losing the last 2 games and you know, basically going 500 against the Tampa Bay Rays, they are still, again, you know, they're still the team to beat, and this has been what they've been doing all season long. So honestly, I'm really not that worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it either. Like, we're a 500 ball team. We take care of our stuff at home. And also, I think it is my mic, apparently. I don't know if you want to check the audio there. This is the problem of, like, us producing while also live. Like, we can't actually hear. Yeah, wow, mine is, like, way high. 1 second, guys. That should be better. That should be better. It might have just been turned up a little bit too much. That's probably it. Just peaking a little bit. Sorry about that. Apologies, guys. But, yeah, I mean, again, I'm not worried. Now you're going on the road and you're facing KC, and we're going to break down that series at the end of this show. But honestly, like, you go take care of business there. You go back to Rogers Center. You go take care of business at home. You got the Rays again. This time you will be at the Dome. Hopefully pick up some W's. Look, they can still clinch postseason tonight. Absolutely. So I'm not worried at all. But let's take a look right now at the last series and what stood out to us. Obviously, the big thing, the last 2 games, we only scored 1 run. Well, and that's a very big concern for me. You know, you kind of look like, honestly, watching the game, just my overall impressions was the boys looked very tired. Like, you have a lot of games in a row. You're here in the heat in Florida. They, for me, look tired, and they look kind of sloppy. And that is to be expected, but I don't want that to carry into the postseason.
Yeah, and in the total series right there, they scored 2 on the Monday, which was good enough to get the W. Shout out to Trey Savage.
Shout out.
Then they scored 6 the following day, so that's a solid offensive performance. But, you know, total, what is that?
That's 9 runs in 4 games. Yeah.
That's definitely uncharacteristic of this Toronto Blue Jays team. I will say, though, and this is something that I don't want us to forget now that we are through this series, but walking into that series, it's the Rays. And what do the Rays do really well? They're very good at pitching. They did make some defensive errors, actually, this series, which was kind of uncharacteristic of them. But I knew that the Rays were going to play us tough, and Toronto just, for whatever reason, never does great against Tampa Bay. So the offense not performing at an optimal level with only 9 games left, sure, when we think about it like that, it doesn't sound great. But I do need to give some credit to Tampa Bay because I just think that for whatever reason, like they are our kryptonite, they are our mosquito that can never go away, and the bats typically don't perform great against Tampa.
And I hate making excuses like that where it's like, it's just Tampa, we can't beat them, when it's like, they're not even a playoff team. But again, for whatever reason, it's Tampa. They know us really good, and I guarantee they've been studying the AL East harder than any other teams in baseball. So I guarantee they've got a great way to get us out, and they played up their matchups perfectly.
And also as well, to jump in there too, yes, we've lost the last 2 games in a row, but prior to that, everyone is very quick to forget, prior to that, they were on a 6-game win streak.
Right, exactly, right.
Because we were listening to Blair and Barker following the game yesterday, and all the respect of the world for those guys. They do some incredible work. But there was a lot of negativity coming from both of them, actually, talking about how this is not a good ball team right now, and they're not playing great. And I will admit, the last 2 games, like to your point, offense was sloppy. They looked sluggish. They looked kind of lazy with a lot of their swings, right? It just felt like we were all fatigued.
Giving up. We're all giving up.
We all just needed to have a break. And I get that more than most people, right? I mean, there are some weeks where you just feel like you got to have a break. And maybe that's where the Toronto Blue Jays are at right now. But to come out and to call them a bad baseball team or that they're playing bad right now, I don't know. It feels unfair considering they just won 6 games in a row prior to the last 2.
They were playing bad in these 2 games. And you can chalk it up as that, but the overall product, they're number 1 in the American League, so they're not a bad baseball team. And if you think they're a bad baseball team, you got to look at the standings again, because clearly they are not. Now, one guy we want to bring up to talk about, speaking of being sluggish and being lazy right now, and this isn't again his overall character, because all season he's been good all year long, but Vladdy has not been very good, and especially since Bo Bichette has been injured. Over the last 8 games, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Shout out to Chris Block, by the way. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is 7 for 30, which is a .233 average. Only 2 RBIs and 1 run with 0 extra base hits. But again, the team is 6-2 in those times because we've had other guys pick up the slack. But it's been very slow and very sad to see a kind of fall off right now. Just a little bit of a dip here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, and you can see all the rolling averages right there are trending in the wrong direction, not where you want it to go. I do certainly think that there is an element of fatigue, and I think that's universal for the whole team, but that's also universal for all of MLB.
Yeah.
And I can't really be sitting here and using that as an excuse, because the team that wins the World Series, they're
going to be gassed.
Fight the fatigue, right? Like they do their best to hold on, and they are going to be extremely tired.
Oh yeah.
But they do their best to fight the fatigue right now, and that's where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. needs to be. I mean, especially with no Bo Bichette in this lineup, at least until playoffs. We don't even know if it's going to be a guarantee that he's back there, but at least until playoffs, there's no Bo Bichette. You want to clinch this thing up, and you specifically want to have your star guy come out and perform at a high level. This is where, for all those people who use the $500 million argument, to us all the time, this is where I want to see that money coming and showing up right now. I want you to be our leader, and I want you to be that individual who's driving us whilst the rest of the team is really tired. Because if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walks into the postseason and these rolling averages are still kind of ticking down and everything like that, that's not a great spot to be. You want to have your star player playing their best ultimately come the beginning of October. And
the big problem for me, what I've been seeing with him, is it looks like his timing is off. Like you can just tell his timing isn't there. Like when you get a slow-mo of the side cam of his swing, you can see that he's not getting the barrel out in front, right? Or he's putting the barrel too out in front, and he's just, timing is just a little bit off. And again, I know you said fatigue is an excuse, but it might be right now. And if it is, that's the reality of the situation, and you need a buy. Well, you need a buy, right? And the buy might actually be very helpful.
Yeah, and again, it's not it might be the cause of why this is happening, but what I'm trying to say right here is whether it's the cause or not, everyone is going through that. So
he's got to battle his way through. He's got to battle. He's got to battle
your way through that, right? It's that's just what it is. Everyone is fucking tired at this current juncture of time, and to your point, that is why the buy is so damn important. Now, John Schneider actually came out and talked about this recently, because Vlad was not playing his best ball, in the last couple days, and he very rarely, I guess, like
calls out the players,
his players or criticizes them openly. And this was a very mild critique, everybody. Like, it's not like he came out and said Vlad's playing like shit. He did come in and say, though, that I think he kind of just gave away that at bat against Kelly.
The one in the 7th inning, it was sloppy. It was just like we weren't even trying.
And exactly, like it felt like and it looked like an individual who was, like we keep bringing up, fatigued and sluggish and just needing a rest and everything. And whilst all of those things are true, we can't have our guy who is the leader and who is getting paid an absurd sum of money to just be giving away at bats.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm John Schneider, and I get it, you're trying to you're trying to clinch the postseason right now, and that's why you're playing him every day, because you just want to get him to the clinching the postseason, then give him a break. But like, he does need a break. Like, it's whether it be mental or physical, like keep rolling him out there like with no days off. Like, he just needs a mental reset, a physical reset, get back to the tee work, get back to the traject back in Rogers Center, that like pitching machine, and get back to the fundamentals and go hit baseballs. Because right now, like rolling him out here hitting like 200 isn't going to help anybody right now.
But at the same point, I mean, like what are you supposed to do? You don't have Bo Bichette right now.
I know.
I mean, like, you're telling me what we're going to take Vladio to line up as well?
Put Ty France
in a game that, like, you know, again, magic number is less than.
I know, but that's why we're not putting. That's why he's still in there, right? Because he's just like waiting for that popping of the champagne, that clinching game, which could be tonight. We'll get to that, and then he's definitely getting a day off, like 100%.
He will, of course, get a day. Yeah, and honestly, all of the starters should be. But I don't blame John Schneider for doing that.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
In a perfect world, could Vladdy get a day off right now, and would that be beneficial? Probably. But I just think that with the loss of Bo Bichette and considering nothing is guaranteed, you know, whilst everything does feel great right now, and the Toronto Blue Jays are still several games up, leading the American League, and several games up in the AL East, you know, nothing is guaranteed. And these wins are just important now, if not more so now than they have ever been. Yeah. So I think you have to keep Vladdy in the lineup.
You have to,
we got to get to the clinching sooner rather than later.
I know. But exactly. Like Mondoon here, he can get a break after Jays clinch. That's what's going to happen. I would almost bet my bank count the day, or it could be tonight, the Jays clinch, he's off the next day. Like, it's like you when you came back from your shoot on Monday night. It's like, Buddy wasn't here. It doesn't look like he's here right now. He's just so gassed. Like, he needs a break. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not overly concerned. I think it's literally just one break away. He's in the swing of things. He was just hitting 600 last week. You know what I mean? He's going to be back, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be playing like the $500 million he should be playing like.
Yeah, I do hope so, man. I do, again, like, not an excuse, but I do hope that it is just the element of this being a bloody long season. It feels long, everybody.
So long, man.
It feels like we've been waiting for the opportunity for the Toronto Blue Jays to lock up the postseason now for a long period of time, which, again, they could do tonight, which we'll get to shortly. Now, before we move on and talk about tonight's game and everything like that, we did want to bring up and just highlight some of the key pitching performances here. Kevin Gausman has certainly been doing his part. I brought this up, I think I've brought this up countless times, actually, but the offense for a long period has been the driving engine force behind the Toronto Blue Jays' success, which is great. That's awesome. I'm very happy that that's the case. But we do want to see the pitching carry their load at some point. And right now, that is certainly happened, especially with Mr. Kevin Gausman. Yeah. This month, 23 innings, an ERA under 1, a whip well under 1. The walks to the Ks is phenomenal. Yeah. This is the lowest in franchise history for any September, by the way, for the ERA, the whip right there from Kevin Gausman in Blue Jays history. This is the game 1 starter without a doubt. Yeah. We already knew that, but this just further hammers it home.
Yeah, and like I saw another stat too where he has 5 games where he has at least gone 8 innings or more, which leads MLB by a wide margin, which is 2. The next highest is 3. So he's actually going deep and giving the bullpen a break, which we've been all talking about all season long, how much the bullpen needs a break. And anytime Kevin Gausman rolls out there, you feel like got a good chance to get a break. But also, speaking of the bullpen, I do want to give them a shout out too. They've been pretty much locking it down for the Jays. I mean, this past week, we saw the emergence of Braden Fisher, coming into that role. Sir Anthony Dominguez, there's been a little bit of flirtation with the closing role, but I don't think that's really going to change. Jeff Hoffman locking it down. So the boys have been good in that bullpen. They've been much better, I believe, since September 5th. They actually have one of the lowest ERAs in baseball since that time. So I got to give them a shout out. Look, they were struggling, and I knew it was just a matter of time before they found the rhythm again.
That's the thing. It so happened that all of it happened at the same time. And it made everybody freak out and think about last year and just how terrible the bullpen was then. And I do think that, again, like they proved that it could happen in the playoffs. Like everyone could just shit the bed. But I also just think that's the nature of MLB bullpens, is that they are extremely volatile. There was an unlucky couple weeks there where everyone was playing bad, whether it be because they just got traded and they were trying to get their lives together.
Right.
Maybe they were going through a little injury that wasn't getting put on the injured report. We didn't know about that. But all the shit hit the fan at one time. It feels like it's leveling out, and we are going to need to have that bullpen, locked down when we get to the playoffs. Because Chris Bassett, for instance, like he was playing so great, and then yesterday against the Rays just didn't have his best stuff, and you had to have the pen come in for a long period of time. At this current juncture, I still think that Chris Bassett is going to be a playoff starter in some capacity for us. Probably not in the first 3 games, but game 4 might have to roll out Chris Bassett for a time. So bullpen is going to be crucial.
Yeah, my mic is hot. Sorry, guys. I'll try to stay away from it. I lean in when I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, no, they're going to be absolutely crucial. So I want to give them a little bit of acknowledgement. They're back. Now it's always the same thing with the Blue Jays. I see like 3 light switches. 2 are always on, 1's always off. You flick one off or on, and then another one goes down. So right now it's the offense going down, and the pitching's doing great, and then so it's just that's the way it goes with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, well, but that's just sports in general. There was a time here in this, like I think it was roughly June, where you could make a strong argument that all those light switches were on for Toronto. The offense was going insane. But this was back when we were on that close to franchise record win streak, and just everything.
July,
was that July?
I think it was July.
Okay,
yeah,
July then was when all those light switches were on. But it's very difficult to have those switches on for the entirety of the season, because if you did, you're winning like 140 games. If we could have 2, if not more so heading in or very strongly in position going into October, I'm going to feel good about that, because you look around the American League, Seattle might have all their light switches on right now.
They do.
But other than them, it feels like, there really isn't anybody else that's playing at an incredibly high level.
No, not really. I mean, hell, even through our bad stretch, we're still 7-3.
Exactly.
You're thinking about this like 2-game loss like it's everything. Well, last 10 we're still one of the better teams in the American League.
They've lost 3 in a row.
They've lost 3 in a row.
3-7 in their last 10. I mean, if anyone's going to panic in the American League, it has to be them, I think.
Yeah, and look at like Boston, if you want to talk about panicking. Like, you got the Guardians right on their tails. They're on a 7-game win streak. They're 9-1. They're getting hot at the right time. Boston Red Sox got to lock it in right now. But taking a look overall for how this means for the Toronto Blue Jays, you look at the regular season, you look at the division right here. The Yankees, they won 2, or they've won 3 in a row technically, but they've won their last 2 and we've lost our last 2. So we've gone from being ahead by 5 games to 3 games, and that's shifted a little bit in the odds right here for the AL East division lead. Now, we were at 97% literally 4 days ago. We've dropped to 90. So obviously we gave a little bit of a crack in the door open for them, but I'm still, again, not overly concerned. It's a 1 in 10 chance that we don't clinch up the division, and hopefully the schedule ahead shows some good things for the Blue Jays.
Well, and they would take a pretty big fuck up for them not to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, we're 3 games up on the Yankees, but really it's 4 games because we own the tiebreaker on them.
Yeah.
So they need to win 4 more games than we win, right? So it's some quick math here. If there's 9 games left, we go 5-4. That means that they got to win out.
They got to win out.
And that's, again, that seems very unlikely. Hey, if they go 9-0, like, tip of the cap to you guys. I mean, you did everything you could right there. But even still, you go 6-3 for the Toronto Blue Jays. That's why the magic number 6 right now.
Yeah.
It's done. Everything is dusted, right? So we still control our own destiny. And even if you slip up, I don't want this to happen, but even if you were to go 4-5, which I do think is unlikely, especially considering we are going to be back at the Rogers Center, which we just thrive at. But even if you went 4-5, nothing's guaranteed for New York. They got to go 8-1. right?
I know.
Like
I know.
that's
a
you
lot.
are asking a lot if you were the New York Yankees right there. So I still think that we are in a very strong spot. If they really shit the bed and continue to lose out here, lose the series to KC and Boston, then we'll have something to worry about.
Yeah. Also, apologies, guys. My mic's apparently still very hot. I'm trying my best here. I'm turning it down. I'm putting it away for me, but we'll see how it sounds. So let's look at this right here. KC, by the way, I know we're gonna break down the series in a little bit, but I just want to make a note. Yeah, we're away, and we've been talking about going 500 road. I mean, KC's playing some bad baseball right now. I believe they just got swept, and I'm looking over at the division, and I think they're 3-7. Yeah, they're 3-7 in their last 10. So, even though we're away, this is a good, juicy matchup you've got right here. And then to your point, we're going to be back at the Rogers Center next week. Boston's not really playing great baseball right now. The Rays, we just split the series, but maybe we could have a chance to win it. So, I'm feeling pretty good. And like I mentioned, the magic number is 6 for that AL East division. It's 3 to clinch the postseason. But through some weird math, the Blue Jays might actually be able to clinch it tonight. According to Keegan Matheson, these things need to happen for the Blue Jays to clinch tonight. They got to win. That's a must. They got to beat KC. And then any two of these three matchups, you got to get a loss from these teams. You got to get a loss from the Tigers, the Red Sox, and the Guardians. So 2 of those teams, if they lose and the Blue Jays win, they're popping champagne at KC tonight. That would be huge.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty confident that we're going to need to be relying on the Tigers and the Red Sox to lose because the Guardians have just been playing too damn good, and I do not trust the Minnesota Twins to be able to get that job done against a red-hot Cleveland Guardians team. But the Tigers, like we said, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Atlanta is not a playoff team this year, but they are always they're always a threat. They got people in that lineup that can certainly do work. And Boston also not playing that great. They're 5-5, and they're taking on the team that just took 2 off of us. Yeah. So I certainly think that this is possible. It's still unlikely because you're asking about, first off, we got to take care of our business. Yeah. We got to win the game. So that's number one, and that's not a guarantee if the offense puts up 0-1 run like they did in the last 2 games. So that's number one. But then on top of all of that, you do need 2 of those other ones to win. It's possible. It's unlikely. Probably about this is quick Nick math right here. Probably about a 10% chance, maybe even a little bit less than that we end up clinching tonight. But there is a opportunity for it.
Yeah, we're going to be going live tonight for the game, by the way, everybody. And I might make just a fun parlay on one of those teams losing. I probably won't bet on the Guardians losing, but I'm going to bet Atlanta win, Tampa win, and then a Jays win.
Jays win, yeah.
Just for fun. Why not, right?
Exactly. And that's the Jays postseason parlay right there. I do wonder what that would pay out. If I'm saying it's about a 10% chance, you got to imagine pay out something pretty nice.
It's probably pretty good. Also, speaking of the game, I figured we could shout this out right now. It was originally just exclusively on Apple TV. It's still the Apple TV broadcast, but because they do have a chance to clinch tonight, it will be simulcasted on Sportsnet. So those who are very upset about the whole Apple TV taking the rights for some of their Friday night games, well, guess what? This one will also be on Sportsnet. So you can actually watch the Apple TV broadcast on Sportsnet. You can give your opinion on what you think about the broadcast and not just complain because it's costs money and they're stealing the rights to the game.
Yes, yeah. So we will be live for that game as well. Basically, everyone and everyone is going to be streaming this game, apparently. You will be able to watch this on your normal broadcaster and everything like that. JF, I'm out tonight, so won't be watching. The chat won't miss you. But you know who we have missed at certain moments? Well, I don't even want to say that because there's been times where I've actually forgotten about him, if I'm being completely honest.
I see where you're trying to do the transition there,
right.
But
I don't know if it really works that much because, to be completely honest, when he was with us, he wasn't doing a whole lot, and that's Anthony Santander. That being said, though, he hit a home run in his rehab yesterday. Yeah. He trotted around the base paths for 41 seconds, which is a long time. That's a long time, everybody. I mean, you think 41 seconds, oh, is that average? No. That's not average. That's a long time to just be trotting around the bases. So he really enjoyed himself there, hitting that one out. I believe this is his second home run that he's hitting down there in AAA Buffalo. And our whole thing, we brought this up at our event on Wednesday night. Well, shout out to the people that were there in person. But we brought this up there. For me, Anthony Santander, if you're actually going to bring him back, I want to see this guy batting 350 down there in AAA, because the gentlemen that have been doing it with this team all season long, they deserve a spot on that postseason roster. And frankly, there's an argument to be made about, well, is it even a good thing to bring him in and disrupt the roster that has been working so well right now? So the only reason for me that you would bring him back is he's got to be going crazy.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I've been at too. There is a reality where he does come back just because the season is actually ending in Buffalo this upcoming weekend, and there is nowhere to put him. So you have to make a decision if you're the Blue Jays. Like, do we shut him down and wait for the postseason, or do we bring him back up to the big league level for this last week and see what he's got at the big league level as almost like a trial run? Because again, like, hopefully we don't have to sweat it out too much with these last final week, and we can clinch the AL East, we can clinch the postseason spot, clinch the number 1 bye spot, and we're feeling good, and you want to bring him up to see what he's got. So he probably might just get up here because of, just because we have the ability to, and he might come up. But I'm with you where I don't think he can necessarily come up and play in a postseason game unless he's actually popping off. He hit 2 home runs from 2 sides. He has always been a low to mid 200 hitter. But if you can hit home runs, I mean, that's the value that you're asking for. So I would need to see a little bit of as well if he comes up next week.
I guess the big question is, do we believe him to be one of the best players in the Toronto Blue Jays organization? Because that's the way that they're looking at things right now. They did it with Trey Savage. They thought that he was one of the best 14 pitchers in the organization, so they brought him up. The question is, do we think that Anthony Santander right now today is one of the better players on the Toronto Blue Jays roster? Because if he is, okay, fine, come up here and do your work, man. But I'll be honest, I'm not convinced at this current juncture. For next year, walking into next season, 100%, because then you're going to have all the offseason to rehab and get better and condition yourself and do all that shit, and then you'll get to start with the team in spring training and you'll get to be in rhythm. But it is just so damn difficult to be out of baseball for months on end. You win a solid, this guy went almost 3 months without swinging a baseball bat. Throwback to when that happened. To do all that and then come back when theoretically all of the pitchers should be locked in right now, thinking about postseason. They've already gotten into their rhythm.
Already in their rhythm.
They are like totally like the cogs are moving right now. Whereas for this guy, he's got to catch up to all of it. I just don't know if I believe that he is one of the best Toronto Blue Jay players right now and does deserve a spot on this roster, unless I see him go nuclear in AAA.
Yeah, like again, like he's got 1 weekend left, so there isn't really much runway for him to go, nuclear, like you're saying, unless he just hits a home run every single game, then he's absolutely coming up. But like the reality is they might just shoot their shot, because like people in the chat are saying right now, all you're really asking for him is a home run in a postseason spot. Like, give me one. If you can hit 1 or 2 homers in a postseason series, that's all we're asking for.
That's more than I expected from you about a month ago.
Exactly, right? That's all. Like you could go 3 for 15, but if you hit 2 homers in 2 big spots, like bang, like that's all you're really asking for in the postseason from this guy. Now, again, like, and when they implement him, I don't expect him to be like the 3 or 4 hitter. Like, he's probably going to be down there in a 7-8 spot, like very low leverage. Because to your point and to all of our points here, the Blue Jays lineup has been so good altogether, clicking, and I don't want to disrupt what's going on up there. Stash him down where the Jimenez's are of the world, and keep him down there. For, if he strikes out, he strikes out. Like, man, he's batting next to Jimenez, who's batting .218. What's the difference there? This guy can actually pop a homer down there. So that's what I think will happen, which, again, kind of feels like we're not disrupting too much. If you have to be very careful with how you put him back in this lineup.
Dewey asking us, do you guys really think he's not going to be on the roster if he's healthy? And to be honest, I do think he's going to be on the roster if he's healthy. I'm just saying that I have some concerns about that, and I would be cautious about how they implement him right now, considering there are a lot of other individuals who are performing at a high level, and having him up here is going to mean taking away playing time. I still remember back in, I think he was on the team in May. He was on the team in May. I still remember in May when the lineup was starting to cook and things were going well, but it was still an automatic out rally killer was Anthony Santander, and he was batting in that 3 and that 4 spot. And I remember going live for the ball games, and you'd see Bo Bichette get on, you see Springer get on, you do something, and then bang, there's Anthony Santander with a 3-pitch strikeout. And I do remember that, and it didn't feel good. So
we have a stain right now.
Exactly.
Of what Santander is,
I have a little bit of PTSD where he is concerned. That being said, I do still recognize and appreciate the upside of injecting a 44 home run hitter into this lineup. I just want to have some sort of I guess, assurance that power is still available. And I suppose hitting home runs in the minor leagues is a good thing. But so far, he's got 2. He's got an OPS of 790 down there.
Yeah.
I would have hopefully liked to see that number go up. Like you said, though, there's not a whole lot of time left.
He's got like 20 at-bats, right? And then that's the thing, too, is like you're looking for that insurance where you're never going to get it. Unless he literally homers every single day from here on out. Like, that's the only insurance you get. Like, he might just homer once more, or maybe he comes up to the big leagues in the last week and he doesn't homer, or he gets really close, but he still hits like 4 for 12 or something like that, and you're like, okay, like that's something. We'll see. It'll pan out. That's why it's really interesting because, like, we don't have much time. We got to kind of gamble on him right now if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. So that's the update there, everybody, and that's the key concern regarding Anthony Santander. Let's move on and let's talk about this series. Before we do, though, everybody, let's give a shout out to Budweiser, guys. Batters up, and it's time for Budweiser. The Buds are stepping up to plate, and Budweiser is encouraging all Buds to rally for October. October moments are better with your Buds, and they're priceless. Savor the feeling while cheering on your Toronto Blue Jays. It's official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's also the official partner of Blue Jays Today. Rally for October. Learn more at budweiser.ca. Let's talk about that upcoming series. It's going to be crucial because we kind of need to clinch some spots.
I want to clinch now and have it done and dusted. I want to see the champagne interviews. I want to see the boys getting after it. That being said, it would be really cool to clinch at the Rogers Center, but that's why you can still clinch the division the Rogers Center.
That's
right? So let's take this weekend, clinch the postseason. Everyone can feel real good about it, and then we're kind of playing for free. We get back home, and then whether it be against Boston or whether it be against Tampa Bay in the following series, that's when you get to have your home celebration, clinch the division. Tonight, you're going to have Lorenzen on the bump against Max Scherzer, Apple TV game along with Sportsnet game, along with Blue Jays Today game that we are going to be live for. Mad Max with a 4.31 ERA up against Lorenzen with a 4.91 ERA. This Kansas City Royals lineup has certainly been cooling off. They haven't been playing great. However, Bobby Witt Jr. is still a really good player. Pasquantino's been having himself a pretty good year. So they do have some individuals over there who are capable of getting stuff done, but it's definitely not as lethal as it was last year, for instance.
Yeah, and looking at the Blue Jays side of things, you got Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer's kind of falling into a role that has been pretty consistent. That's the one thing about Max Scherzer. He'll do something, and he'll do something consistently, whether it be injured, whether it be good, whether it be going 5 innings and giving up 2 or 3 earned runs every time. And that's what it looks like right now for him. The one thing to note is because he can't go that far in the game, we did just burn Eric Lauer yesterday. He threw 30 pitches on the bump. You burn Braden Fisher, 17 pitches, 8 from Sir Anthony Dominguez. You do have a great performance by Kevin Gausman that helped out the bullpen. So there should be some guys that can kind of, staple their way through to the back end of the bullpen. But with all that being said, Scherzer should give us a good chance, and this is Lorenzen's game log. He actually came out in relief literally 2 days ago, so that's something to note. But before that, he threw 3 innings, gave up 10 hits, 6 earned runs. The game before that, 4 earned runs, gave for that 2, 4, 3. So for me, I think Scherzer's going to give us a chance. I think the Blue Jays are going to be fired up. They're finally out of Steinbrenner Field. Give me a W for the Blue Jays with Scherzer on the bump.
It just feels like this is the type of pitcher to get the offense right. I get that everyone's tired, and I understand that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. needs to go home and probably have a bit of a nappy. But, this is the guy to get your swing right on. He's 5-11. Win-losses don't mean anything. Well, when you have 11 losses, they mean something, everybody. The guy's got a 4.91 ERA and has been giving up earned runs left, right, and center. Hell, they don't even know if he's a reliever or a starter at this point.
They're just trying to finish
the goddamn season. Probably so is Lorenzen, man. He's got to be, you got to imagine, mentally elsewhere at this point. So if you're the Toronto Blue Jays offense and you just went through 18 innings where you only got 1 earned run, this is the type of individual to get it back on. I think that Max Scherzer is going to be fine. I do think that he is going to give up a couple and kind of continue on with what it is that he's been doing. Probably something like 5.1 innings of 2 or 3 earned run ball, which would be perfectly fine. The offense, though, I think that we get over the 5-run, the magic 5-run number tonight. I'm thinking like 7 or 8 runs coming from the offense against Lorenzen.
I like it a lot. So that's that. We win game 1. Game 2, we've got Bieber, and it's not clocking to you because Bieber, in my opinion, is going to come out and he's going to be good again because he was good his last time out. He's up against a weaker Kansas City Royals team. I think he's going to do pretty damn good. He is up against Noah Cameron, who has been pretty solid. 7 innings his last time out against the Phillies. And the Phillies are a damn good offense. Only gave up 4 hits. Only gave up 6 here in the last one against the Cleveland Guardians. And then, yeah, he's just been a solid guy that gives them a chance to win. I think Bieber will be good in this one. But I feel like this is the one where we might drop a game in this series if we had to. I think it's going to be competitive, low scoring. I say we lose here.
He's a good pitcher. There's no denying it, everybody. 2.98 ERA is nothing to scoff at, and 7 back-to-back inning performances of 2 earned run ball. By the way, against the Cleveland Guardians team that is like red hot. And then also the Phillies, who some might argue is the team to beat this year. I mean, that is some solid performances. That being said, though, I said that we were going to win tonight, and I don't think that we are going to clinch tonight, which then would mean, I would imagine, tomorrow a win would almost assuredly clinch for the Toronto Blue Jays. There's a lot of mental gymnastics you got to go through, but if we win tonight and then also win tomorrow, I think that will have done it, and we probably
Assuming
will.
one of those teams loses.
One of those teams will lose. One of those teams will lose. We will clinch. I think the boys are going to be fired up after winning tonight. Therefore, we're going to want to clinch tomorrow, and then everybody can have a nice Sunday off, watch football Sunday in the dugout and hang out. So I think that we're going to win this ball game on the back of a Shane Bieber start, and they're going to get to Cameron something like a solid 5-2 win.
That would give me a lot of confidence if they can get to Cameron. The boys and the bats are back 1 week leading into the postseason. That would feel.
And hey,
really
if
good.
you're one of those, listen to this, guys. If you're one of those starters, if you're somebody like a Vladdy, you want some time off. Monday's an off day.
Yeah.
So if you can clinch on Saturday, get hammered Saturday night, John's going to be nice. He's going to give you the day off on Sunday. He'll let you rest. So then you get 2 days off. You get to be hungover in the dugout watching football Sunday. And then you get all the Monday off with your family back home to hang out, and then you can walk into Tuesday feeling refreshed. So if I was the boys, obviously they want to clinch as soon as possible. But I mean, if we can clinch on Saturday night, now you get an actual weekend. For some of them anyway.
I know. 2 days off in a row, that would be phenomenal for the boys. Now on the Sunday game, everyone's going to be watching this one, as well as some football Sunday. I know that we will. Yes, Savage is on the bump yet again. He's getting another nod. He's up against Michael Wacha, who in the last little bit has been struggling. The last time out against Seattle, I mean, Seattle's been hot as hell. They might be the best team in baseball in the last 10 games. They put him up for 7 earned runs, 9 hits. Not a bad performance against Mini, but they're Mini. Detroit beat him up twice, actually, back-to-back games. I feel like Michael Wacha
very, very mid.
Been getting mid, kind of falling apart. Again, like, he's getting tired. He's at the end of his ropes. He's an old guy, but Savage is not. Young dude. I'm going to feel very confident, even though, like, I think at some point we'll clinch and the Blue Jays roll out their B lineup. But being the Blue Jays, even our B lineup is still really good because we are so deep. I think we win this one right here. We win the series 2-1. Savage dominates yet again against a Kansas City Royals lineup.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Okay, my prediction. I'm saying that the Toronto Blue Jays, they win on Saturday. They clinch on Saturday. Now, some of you guys might be thinking to yourselves, "Hey, Trey Savage, the guy is a savage. He's probably going to get after it Saturday night, and then he's going to be feeling a little bit on Sunday."
He won't be.
But here's the thing. I think he's a good boy.
Yeah,
I think he's a good boy, and even though he's going to want to have a couple with the gentleman on Saturday night to celebrate. Ultimately, his mental is going to be thinking about Sunday afternoon taking on Michael Wacha.
He won't be.
So I think he's still going to be locked in regardless of what happens Saturday night. And therefore, I'm saying that Trey Savage and his strikeout numbers continue to rise. Toronto Blue Jays win this one. We sweep the Kansas City Royals. That would give us 92 wins. That would have us assuredly in the playoffs. And then at that point, you'd be looking at that Boston series to clinch up the division, hopefully. And then you can rest easy against Tampa Bay and have it mean absolutely nothing, which is exactly what I want. I don't want those Tampa Bay games to mean anything, because if they actually meant something, one, that means that we've stumbled, over the last couple series, and 2, if they meant something, you already know that those the Tampa Bay Rays, they are going to be playing spoiler ball better than anyone.
I know. Yeah, I want to clinch the division against the Boston Red Sox. That would be so good. But you guys let us know your thoughts about our series predictions in the chat down below. Let's give another shout out to Pizza, everybody. Where are those in here? What's going on? Oh, there we go. Pizza. We're doing another pizza stream tonight, everybody. So go get your pizza ready for 7 o'clock. Meet your new game time favorite, the Stromboli and drink combo. Oh, I cannot wait to have the Stromboli.
It was actually, it was honestly very good last week. Yeah,
so good.
Can't deny, everyone, it was top tier. Best thing that we've had sent to us so far on the Friday night pizza stream.
Yeah, and we're gonna get the chance, hopefully, to try all these 4 mouth-watering flavors. We had the pepperoni. I want to try that pesto Mediterranean.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
That's gonna slap. That's
gonna slap real good. 4 meat isn't bad, and you can't go wrong with a smoky barbecue chicken. Roll up with pizza today. Don't wait. Swing by Pizza today, or order on the Pizza app or online at pizzapizza.ca. Pizza, because everyone deserves pizza. We're gonna get to our mailbag right now. I saw a couple guys with some questions in the chat. If you have a question, I put the link right there at the top of the chat, and it's in the description. So if you want to ask a question, please submit down below. I already see we got a Drew Gamer a question in here, so I'm gonna get that in there right now, everybody. Give me a couple seconds.
Also, JF, I just caught a glimpse of your question. I have no idea what that is.
What's on here?
I mean, maybe we will end up asking the chat about that, but the Mull River Shuffle.
The Mull River Shuffle.
That sounds the most East Coast thing I think I've ever heard in my life. Like, tell me that you're from Nova Scotia without telling me you're from Nova Scotia. The Mull
River Shuffle.
What the fuck is that?
What is that? I don't know. Okay, my thing is glitching right now. It won't actually let me edit. This has been a weird thing. I don't know if you noticed this. Like, it uses like the hand, and it doesn't change back to the other. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's glitching. So we're gonna have to read it off like this. So sorry guys, we can't actually read it off the screen and show you guys. But Drew Gamer in here with the question saying, "I am so proud to be a fan of the most doggiest team to ever be underdog. Our pitching staff and our bullpen isn't elite by any means, but our offense is way better than how it looks on paper. We are gonna win the division, knock on wood, and we did it because everyone on this team contributes." So he's talking in past tense right now, that we are going to win the division. Everyone has their role to do, and they do it perfectly, whether it's a Varsho bomb or a simple base hit for Clement. Everyone's doing it to make it work perfect. Okay, so where's the question here, Drew Gamer?
I think, where's unselfish baseball, no hero ball like Judge with the Yanks. Listen, I'll actually say something to that, okay? I mean, there's so many, and I've brought this up a couple times. So many people have said the comeback wins, we can't be sustained by the comeback wins, okay? That we can't do that. That's not a winning formula in the postseason. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Well, when you look over at every team's got an identity, okay? Whether it be playing great fundamental defense, whether it be like the New York Yankees having the home run ball, whether it be over there in Seattle. Now they're also in the home run ball, but for a long time they're starting pitching. That's their identity, right? And you can always say, well, hey, if Seattle's starting pitching's not good, they're not going to go far. Or, hey, if the Yankees aren't hitting home runs, they're not going to go far. I think that there's something to be said for the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays don't have a big-time hero in the lineup, and that it is so deep, such a balanced offense, and they've done a better job than anyone at staying in the game. There's something to be said for hanging around. You know what I mean? If you're in a boxing match right now, okay, like if you can get knocked out in round 3, but if you give yourself a chance, if you keep making it through, handling the punches, making it deeper and deeper into the ballgame, keeping it close, then you will have a chance to come back. That's what the Toronto Blue Jays are better at anyone than doing in MLB. So for me, the fact that we don't have a hero, I do think it's awesome. I think that it's just such a balanced offense that allows this team to have the most comeback wins in all of baseball, and I do think that it's a sustainable way of winning, because that's what they've done all season long. And just like the Yankees need home runs to win, or the Seattle needs good pitching to win, or whatever, we need the comeback to win, which we have done
we need the deep
time and
lineup.
time again.
Yeah, and that's all because of that deep lineup. I saw a stat that was like crazy. It was like OPS, again, it's the whole OPS plus thing, where the Blue Jays are by far way more deeper than any other team, according to OPS plus. And I believe there was another graph in that tweet I saw that was also comparing them to WAR. The Blue Jays have more players over 2.5 WAR than anybody in baseball in their position players. That's just elite, and that's our bread and butter. We need to rely on getting those pitchers wear down and beating them later on.
That's the thing. I don't understand how people can say it's not sustainable when we've seen it happen all season long.
In fact, like, I think it's more sustainable because you have more guys. Okay, if one guy doesn't have a good night, okay, like Vladdy's not having a good night, Bo's not having a good night. Well, Bo's not even here. Vladdy's not playing well, and they're still 6-2 since Bo got injured.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is having a good night. That's the point. Whereas Judge doesn't have a good night, you lose. You know, oh, your starting pitcher doesn't have a good night, you lose. Like, that's it, right? That's the Yankees. Whereas we can have guys take off days, you know, in terms of their performances and still win. That's why they're better than most teams in baseball. Also, I see GG in here with a question, because we don't have any things in the mailbag right now. People are still submitting them, saying you guys don't think clinching the division is way more important than just the postseason.
Oh, I do.
I think it's way more important.
Yeah, I mean, at this current juncture of time, we're so we're honestly blessed in the spot that we're at right now, because it feels like clinching the postseason has been a given for about a month of time now. Like, that's just, I've got that in my brain that it's going to happen. It's definitely going to be a thing, which is honestly the truth. I mean, when you look at the statistics, no one in the AL has clinched the division, but the Toronto Blue Jays have a 99.99% chance that they will do so. It would take not only them to lose out every single game, but then also some wild and wacky other shit would have to happen on top of all of that for them not to make it. So we're going to make the postseason, and for that reason, that is why I look at the division as being that much more important, because we're so grateful. However, I also do want to take a moment and step back and just go, it is an awesome spot to be in where I've been thinking that we're going to the playoffs now for over a month. It doesn't even feel like anything. It doesn't feel like news when it happens. It's going to be like, great, got that done. Let's go win the division.
Yeah, division's the next big goal for the Blue Jays, and obviously it's way more important because you need to get the bye too. I mean, at this point, the Blue Jays, if they win the division, they're getting the bye. Like, it'd be very, very tough for them to lose out on that bye, and I don't want to play in a wild card series. And we've never had the opportunity with Vlad and Bo in this new wild card format to get a bye. This would be more crucial. You get to play all your guys out there, all your starting pitchers that you want in a series, and you don't have to feel bad and ask yourself, what if we had another game to go come back?
Well, and specifically as well, I think the bye is crucial to get that number one spot, because one, if you guys didn't watch the video that I put out yesterday, I highly recommend that you did. I took all the statistics, I took all the standings, I took all the team trends, I plugged it into ChatGPT, and I said, spit out, use your brain, because my brain's not smart enough to comprehend this. Use your AI brain and tell me what are the three most likely scenarios. It had the Toronto Blue Jays finishing as the number one seed every single time, and only in one of those scenarios was Seattle on the same side of the bracket as us. So it's predicting that Seattle's going to end up in the other bracket more times than not, which is honestly a very good thing, because I don't want to deal with Seattle at all. On top of all of that, 5 games in the ALDS. Correct me if I'm wrong. It works out like this: the first 2 get played at home for the higher seed. Then the following 2 get played at the opposing ballpark, and then the last one gets played at the favorites team, you know, it's at home. Well, playing at home is so bloody important, because as we can see, we're 500 on the road, and we're an animal team when we're at home. So the more opportunities we get to play at the Rogers Center, the better.
Yeah, being the number one team, you will be able to play at the Rogers Center more time than not through the entire postseason. And then, 2, consider this as well. When you get to the World Series, all depend on who you're matched up with. I mean, the NL is pretty damn good. The only teams that are better than us at home, or on the overall year, is the Phillies and the Brewers right now. So yeah, if we're matched up against one of those 2 teams, we don't have the advantage. But if we could easily get the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Padres, maybe not the Mets. They kind of look like they're collapsing right now. But like if we're matching with those guys, we have the advantage yet again.
Yeah,
that's
100%, man. So being that number one squad is that much more important just because we've been so good at home and not great on the road. So therefore, give me more times to be at home. We got one final question here, and then we're going to wrap things up. Leah Herring asking, most important question, did Adam fix his toilet yet?
I haven't. I've still lazily shut it off every time after I flush it. I just shut it off.
So for those of you who are keeping up, Adam's toilet is
still running,
broken beyond repair, but soon it will get better.
I'm gonna have to do it. Honestly, if they hit the bye, that's a great time for me to do it.
That's true.
We're just gonna be waiting around for like basically our season series to start. So
if you think about it, I mean, the toilet's kind of like Vladdy in a way, and I do feel bad for the toilet, right? Like it never gets an off day.
No,
it never
always getting
that's
used.
The thing. I mean, think about it, right? How many times do you go a whole day without using your toilet? Something's probably pretty wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, on the insides if that's not happening. So I understand that thing's been going after it for about 10 years without an off day.
You know what, guys? I'll post on our community page when the toilet's fixed. I'll post it. You know, I'll show you the insides for those. Everyone was really into the toilet on Wednesday. Was it Tuesday?
They're very interested in following along with this story. I can tell you that it has not been fixed yet, but we will make a point of trying to go after and get that done. Maybe after they clinch, that'll be the
I'll fix the toilet.
Fixing of the toilet.
We'll pop champagne ourselves, and I'll be kind of half drunk, like fixing my toilet. That's the best time to do it. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about everything we talked about, whether it be Santander, clinching the division, and as well this Royal Series. Again, we're going to be live tonight for the Pizza Party, having that Stromboli. I can't wait to enjoy it with y'all tonight.
Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month to become a YouTube member. And thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!